Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Monday night Zoom. My name is Harlequin Murray. I am your co-host this evening, as I usually am, and I have the honor and privilege of welcoming everybody to begin with. So for those of you who are new here on the team and have never been on our Zoom before, welcome. We're glad you're here, excited to meet you and get to know you and help you make some money and help some business owners along the way. But I have the honor and privilege of introducing our senior team leader, Miss Ellen Winn. Pretty much everybody on this Zoom is on her team. There's a few invited guests as well. But if you got an email from her saying, welcome to the team, then you're on the team. And I am part of Ellen's team as well. But for those of you who are new and you don't know anything about Ellen, a couple of different things just to give you kind of her background. She grew up on her family's farm in Dallas, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. And she still lives there today. And anyways, when she got out of school, she went to work in the restaurant industry, worked in that industry for many years, and worked her way up on the corporate side of things to a district director and training manager for Domino's Pizza. And then after doing the corporate route for a while, she decided she wanted to be her own boss and opened up a pizza restaurant, and actually had 2 locations. So she knows what our business owners are going through, and from personal experience. And anyway, she did that for quite a while, and then somebody introduced her to network marketing, and she's been doing that ever since. She does still have another business, but she loves doing DAC. But whenever I met her, gosh, it's been 18 years ago now, she was actually the national training director for a network marketing company. So she has been recognized as being a top trainer by several different organizations. So we're fortunate to have her as our team leader. But she is an area director in David Allen Capital, and we are excited that she gets to go and train us. And are you ready to go, Miss Ellen?
I am.
Okay, well, take it away.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Harlequin. I always appreciate that introduction and that walk down memory lane for me. Guys, welcome. If this is the first time you've been on our team Zoom, welcome. We do this every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, giving you an opportunity to do question and answer with me. I always have something that I'm going to cover, and then you can ask questions at the end of the presentation, whether it's related to the presentation or not. It's your opportunity to talk and ask questions about anything DAC related. Okay, so I'm going to get us into screen share mode like I always do, and get us kicked off with some slides. I've got some good content tonight. You're going to want to grab pen and paper if you don't already have that ready to take some notes. Awesome. And let me see if I can find my share screen. There it is. And DAC, a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan. Just a quick rundown to, for me, Harlequin talked about my training background. I have an extensive training background in corporate America, but I was selected to move into the training department from the operations team because I was really good at hands-on training on one-on-one stuff inside the Domino's Pizza stores when I was working as a store manager and area supervisor. So they took me into the training department because they saw that skill. And then once I became a trainer, I was teaching in front of classrooms of people where I had 74 corporate stores in the state of Georgia that I was the regional training director for. And then I did that for a long time, and then moved into the corporate side of things as operations side of things as operations director. So I love training, and I know that repetition is the mother of learning with all that said. So I go through these first few slides just about the same every single week, because the more you see it, the more you hear it, the more it sinks in, right? So DAC, a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan. And there we go. Get my slides moving forward. You can make a significant income by building your own agency with personal client bonuses and personal client residuals. But if you really want to make a significant income that can pay you for years and years to come and give you retirement income, then you can earn more if you decide that you want to build a team. So that leads me straight into our top recruiters for the week. And this is the week of 10/23 through 10/29. In first place, we had Ben Randalls. Congratulations, Ben. Had 4 new agents join his team. In second place, we had Deborah Bratcher with 3 new agents. Congratulations, Deborah. In third place, a 2-way tie between myself and Eric Johnson. Each of us had 2 new agent recruits. All in all, for the week, we had 28 agents who had at least 1 new agent recruit. To be named on the top recruiter board, you had to have 2 or more agent recruits to be recognized by name. But hats off to all of you that had at least 1 new agent recruit for the week. And also congratulations if you even didn't have a recruit, but you're having conversations with people, whether it be about DAC and the agent opportunity, or whether it be about our services or anything DAC related. It's just a matter of time before your name will also show up on the leaderboard. Okay, so real quick highlights on the compensation plan. We have many, many complex layers and multiple ways to get paid. And if you watch the compensation video presented by David Rutz and some of the compensation trainings that I do, breaking it down for you in bite-sized pieces, I know you can just sit there and your eyes roll back in your head and you're going, oh my God, this is too much information. I don't know how this works. Well, I can tell you how it works. We have bonuses that get paid one time, residual income. You can qualify for car allowances, expense accounts, revenue sharing, and you can always get to the top of the company where you can earn equity shares of DAC. But it all boils down to 2 things. We get paid 2 ways. One, with clients that pay out a one-time bonus, and that's going to be your funding and your ERCs right now. And we also have Relevate in that. Relevate pays out a one-time bonus if you're marketing that to business corporate accounts where they have groups of employees. You can qualify for a bonus there. And then some of our services are going to pay out monthly residual income only without the bonus attached. But all of our services contribute to the residual compensation plan. So I want to touch on that tonight. But again, breaking it down simply, we get paid 2 ways. But the easiest way for you to really start understanding our compensation plan is to go get a customer. 1 customer, you'll figure out how you get paid on that 1 customer. 2 customers, you start learning more about how our compensation plan pays. And if you start building a team, you have to have customers to get paid on your team. And boy, oh boy, if you have a team that's producing and you're getting customers yourself, you'll quickly learn how the compensation plan works, because we have some significant income override opportunities available if you want to build a team and if you're getting customers. So talking about the residual commission schedule, this is page, let me move something out of my way here, my view. Page 9 of the compensation plan document, the residual commission overview. I'm just going to touch on it real quickly, but I'm going to point out a couple of things because we're hitting month end here. And month end means that you've got to have points to be qualified in the compensation plan. So again, this is page 9. Okay. And I'm going to take you through a view of your back office to really show you a couple of things that you need to be looking at in your agent back office, your David Allen Capital back office. But here, if you don't have any personal residual revenue points, meaning you have not had a customer this month, then you're just an agent in the compensation plan as far as qualifications go. You're not considered a qualified agent. You're a number. You're an agent ID, but you're not really an active agent, other than your back office will say that you're active. That means that you haven't been deactivated or terminated, right? Your links are active and you can market if your back office says you're active. But if you don't have any residual revenue points, you're really not an active agent as far as building the business goes. Okay. You're here, maybe sitting on the sidelines, sitting in the bleachers, watching everybody else, trying to decide if you want to market anything or how long DAC is going to be around. Well, I can tell you it's going to be around for a long time. I've been here since June of 2018, and DAC just keeps getting better and better and better, layer by layer by layer. We've got the foundation, and now we're looking for the right people to start marketing our services in a really big way. Okay. So as I said, end of month, last day of the month is midnight Eastern time tomorrow, which is October the 31st. So you have to have qualification volume in the system by midnight Eastern tomorrow night if you're going to earn anything on your team. Now, let me go back here one. If you have 0 personal points and you don't have a team, okay, you're not missing out on anything other than you're not contributing to your upline organization moving through the compensation plan. So for example, if you're in Harlequin's team, right? If you're getting customers, you're helping Harlequin move through the compensation plan and move through towards area director, regional director, and so on. And having an upline leader that gets rewarded by you getting customer points really helps grow and is the incentive there in the compensation plan. So if you're working in a team and you appreciate the team leader that is working with you and supporting you, go get some customers. If not for yourself, help the team and help move your team leaders along by getting some customers and contributing to the overall team volume. Okay. All right. So back to the end of the month and looking at your dashboard. Here's where you need to go. When you first log into your back office, you see this dashboard, and I've got this little red square here laying out the numbers that you need to look at. Okay. This is your business, and this is a recap of your business. It says, are you engaged qualified? Yes or no? And if so, it'll tell what the date is on the expiration date of engaged qualified. And then you'll have amped up qualified, yes or no, with the date there as well, if you are qualified. And this is not my back office. This is a test or a training back office that I created a long time ago, just so I've got something that I can log into and not show numbers and disclose private information there. Okay. It also says rank, and this is where this particular back office example has 0 points, but still is showing agent, but not a qualified agent. There's a difference because you got to have 50 points. Personal number of agents, if you had recruits, this would be where your numbers would be showing up, as well as here in the blue box. Personal customers, there would be a number there, also in the blue box in the summary at the top. And your status, active, right? You haven't been terminated, so it may just be showing active, or actually that status doesn't change. That's just showing that you're an active agent, right? Okay, but here's where the numbers are that you really want to be looking at. Okay, this month's personal bonus revenue. This is only going to change if you've had a funding or a giggle client or a Bank Breezy client, or if you've had an ERC, a personal ERC that got paid out, or if you've earned a Relevate bonus. That's the only numbers that are going to change here in the personal bonus revenue, because those are your bonus services that would show volume there, right? The next line here, this month's personal residual revenue. Remember, every service that we have feeds into the residual compensation plan. So if you had bonus revenue, you would also have some residual revenue, because those bonus clients put residual revenue into the compensation plan. But we have residual revenue, we have healthcare, we have Relevate, the residual piece of that every month on top of the bonus, the funding that puts residual revenue in there. We have ID Protect and healthcare, which is really the long-term residual. And I may have mentioned that one twice. I love our healthcare program. All right. And then this month's group residual revenue. So look at this group residual revenue. If you log into your back office and you have a team that has some clients here and you're seeing a number besides the group residual revenue in your back office, if you don't have at least 50 points, you are missing out. If there's any team volume whatsoever, if you don't have at least 50 points in personal residual revenue, you are missing out. So I'm going to leave it here for a second. If you're on your phone, give you an opportunity to do a screenshot of this so that you can remind yourself where you need to go look. And if you're seeing team volume there, if you don't have 50 points, you're missing out on an opportunity to get a commission. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at 50 points back on that compensation plan document. Qualified agent. That's where you need 50 points to be considered qualified. You're always going to get paid on your personal customers, right? So you don't need any points in particular to get paid on your personal customers. But if you don't have personal customers, you've got 0 there on the agent, and you're not missing out on anything other than potential to be making money by going and getting customers. But if you've got 50 points, 50 personal residual revenue points, now you're eligible to get paid 3 levels deep in your team without any structure requirement. So no matter what's going on in your group, if you've only got one team that's building and has revenue, you can get paid 3 levels deep if you only had 50 points, right? So I'm going to show you where to go to see that. Again, there's no structure requirement there as an agent to be eligible to earn 3 levels with 50 points minimum. Okay, so if you look back at that group residual revenue, if you have revenue there, there'll be a number, and you just click on that number there, and it's going to open up a back office that looks like this. It's going to show you from January, which was the beginning of time this year for this back office report, all the way through October. So here we are in October. So you want to focus in on the line here that shows October, and notice these different columns. You've got PBR, that's personal bonus revenue, which is clickable from the dashboard, remember? Then you've got your GBR, which is your group bonus revenue. PRR, that's your personal residual revenue, and the GRR is your group residual revenue. And this is the number you want to focus on. There'll be a number there, and you'll be able to click that link. And when you click that link, it's going to open up another page, and it's going to show you the teams that you've personally sponsored. It's going to have the personally sponsored agent. It's going to have their name, and then it's going to show what their volume is, right? So if you see a number there and you don't have 50 points, you're letting that check just go by you, okay? But you'll be able to see, and even if you get over here to, if you've got 100 in personal residual revenue and 150, and you have team structure, then you can also earn 4 or even 6 levels deep in your group, depending on how much is going on. So how do you know whether you meet those qualifications or not? When you see that group residual revenue and you click open and it shows you the different teams that you have, all you need to do is, let's say that you have 4 teams that are producing, okay? There's a max leg rule of 40%. So let's say that you're at the $1,000 level, which if you had 150 personal revenue, that would make you an area trainer. If you had 1,000 in group residual revenue, as long as you didn't have more than 40% from one leg. What's 40% of 1,000? 400, right? So as long as you can count volume from each leg, no more than 400 from any one leg, you could be qualified at area trainer if you got yourself to 150 points. And that would mean you're eligible to get paid on 6 levels deep. So most of you, the 50 points is where the big deal is, right? Some of you could be team trainer or area trainer or even regional trainer, depending on your volume and your team structure. But you need to look at those. If you're looking at your back office and you see volume in there and you don't understand and you're not sure what you need to do to get yourself qualified, if you're on Harlequin's team, she's happy to help you and explain that to you. If you're not in Harlequin's team, I'm happy to answer those questions and give you, we can do a one-on-one Zoom and really look at your numbers. We can dive down and look at those numbers and really help you analyze what it is that you need to do to make sure that you're getting a residual check. Okay. All right. And on points, if you have 0 and you have 10 points that you could earn a check on, I have to point out here that if you need last minute points and you don't have a funding come through to qualify, because funding volume, if somebody got a funding today, that volume is going to show up tomorrow and could help you push you over the edge there to get you qualified for the end of the month. But if you get a funding tomorrow and they don't post numbers, then it won't show up till the next day and you may miss that qualification. So if you don't see numbers posting and it's late in the day tomorrow night, as you're getting past 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you know that funding and all that has already been processed for the day, then here's the only way you can get those points. And that is ID Protect. It's the only service that we have that goes live the instant that it gets ordered. Okay. Healthcare is great, but healthcare for October, anybody that paid during October, got started the first of the month, that volume is not going to show up until next month. Okay. So you want to take a look at the ID Protect chart, and you can see here what those plans volume are. If you need 50 points and you sold an annual ID Protect plan, there's 50 points right there. We'll hit. I bought myself a personal annual plan 1 month a long time ago when I was needing some residual revenue points and I was on a monthly plan. And I go, wait a minute, if I switch from monthly to annual, I'll have the points that I need this month, right? And I did that and put me over the edge there on the points that I needed to hit the rank qualifications that I was looking for. So you can do that. You can be your own customer, and being your own customer counts towards your qualifications. One thing on this though, if you sell a monthly plan, then those points are going to show up month after month. If you sell an annual plan, you get that volume the one time that it is sold, that 1 month, and then it won't rebill again until a year later. So just know, if you need points now, the annual plan might give you the volume to get over the hump. If you want long-term ongoing volume, then look at having several monthly customers to get you where you need to go. Okay. All right. Be here to win, folks. Write this down, not just 50 points, but you need to get yourself towards 200 minimum residual revenue points. And you really want to be on your way to getting 1,000, because 1,000 is going to qualify you for the 7-level bump up bonus. We only have 12 months to earn that extra 25% 7-level bump up bonus for life. So from the date that you signed up as a new agent, your 12th month anniversary is the end of your ability to qualify for that 7-level bump up. If you were here before May 1st, then May 1st of next year is the anniversary date for us to qualify for the 7-level bump up. So we're about to be in November, December, January, February, March, April. We've got 6 months left. That's it for you to go get 1,000 personal residual revenue points if you're going to shoot for that bump up bonus. Now, can you get 1,000 points in 1 month? You sure can. You can get those residual revenue points in 1 month, but don't push it. You need to be the tortoise and steadily building, even if it's slowly, but steadily building your business and adding layers of customers. I believe that 5 health share plans is going to be the easiest way to get those 200 points that are going to be sticky points that'll stay, and customers will remain on the books once they come on with our clear share plan. And on top of that, the 5 health share plans, we've got a huge opportunity to help you with that, with our schedule for this week, right? Tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern time, the Clear Share team from Clearwater, they are doing a live Zoom for us tomorrow and Thursday, both. So what does that mean? We've got to support their efforts. Okay. So plan on being there. And listen, do me a favor, even if you can't be there live and participate, at least go log in on the Zoom, even if you have to mute out and turn your camera on. Please be there. We need to see some numbers on there, and we want to show the Clearwater team that we're supporting them. So if you're going to be at a job or whatever, I get it. You can't be there live on the Zoom, but just log in, set your phone down, go back and watch the recording later. But at least the Clearwater team will see the number of participants going up if you plug in on that. And that's incredibly important right now, because they've created this whole program for DAC. And they have set aside a lot of resources to help DAC win big on this. And it's going to require participation. So let's come show some love to the Clearwater team tomorrow and again on Thursday. And if you're there, these little trainings, they're going to be 30 minutes or so, most likely. If you'll take that kind of time and just plug in with your business every day, it'll keep DAC top of mind, and you'll hear something new, or you'll hear a story or success story along the way that you're going, oh man, I can do this. Or you hear a story like I just posted in my Facebook group on my Facebook page earlier that I helped a client save $700 a month on their healthcare. Yes, I just did that. We did the activation yesterday, and he texted me this morning saying, healthcare.gov canceled, because we set him up to do DAC Healthcare active on November 1st. So those kind of victories are huge, and we've got the platform to do that. And then Wednesday, our schedule with Funding with Wade, and then Friday morning agent update. But this is just this week's schedule. We've got a Zoom every morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. All of those will be at daczoom.com. And I've already covered that, getting yourself to the 7-level bump up. So I want you guys to win. I want all of you to win. Let me get off screen share here. And I want to do something a little different here. If you have had conversations about healthcare, I want you to type the number and send it in the chat. Okay, I want to see that chat box lighten up. Tell me how many conversations you've had about healthcare, how many prospects you have communicated with on healthcare, and how many are on your list. If you got 0, put 0. If you got 1, put 1. If you've got 5, put 5. Harlequin, that's coming to you and I, right? 20. Harlequin's had 20. Way to go. Way to go. Those numbers are coming to us. Come on, guys. None of you are talking to people about healthcare? Really?
I've got somebody
better.
2.
2. There's some more.
And there was somebody who admitted to none so far. But
thank you for your honesty there. All right. Good. Hey, I'm signing up consistently every week. Not as many as I would like to, just because I've been so darn busy with my other business. But I'm doing enrollments every single week, whether it's one person or a small business that is a group of employees. I've got 2 other groups right now that are probably coming on board. So just seeing those numbers climb, right? Getting towards that 7-level bump up just through healthcare alone. And I know you can too. Thank you. All right. At least one conversation there. And let me ask you this. If you're not having conversations with people about our healthcare program, why not? Do you not believe in the product? Do you not believe in the service? If not, then plug into the trainings and listen to what the Clearwater team is doing. We have not had a product or service that I've marketed and been behind as strong as I am with this, other than our ERC. I've marketed our funding. I know there's a limited audience on funding, and I've promoted it, but not as aggressively as I am healthcare. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just know there's a limited audience on funding, right? And I've always got something out there, but I'm not kidding you. I don't let a conversation go by where I don't ask somebody, hey, what are you guys doing for healthcare? Every single person I talk to, I ask that question, right? It's relevant, and healthcare impacts every single person that you talk to. whether they're an individual, work for themselves, or whether they work for an employer group. We can probably help them, put them in a better plan, save them some money. And the best time to buy healthcare is when you don't need it, right? So if you've got people that are generally healthy right now, you're doing them a favor, telling them about our health share program and getting them on it, because once they're on it and they continue staying on it, if they ever do have a medical condition arise, then they'll be covered, and it won't be a pre-existing condition that could limit their choices in the future. So just know it is a great program.
And Ellen,
Okay.
I've got 2 more people that have talked to 3 people, and another one
Okay.
talked to 2.
Okay, great, great. And I've got one comment. I don't believe in the product. And can you clarify, is that the healthcare or which one is that? I'm skeptical about chargebacks and focused on business funding. Okay. That's great that you're focused on business funding. Okay, thank you for those answers. That's great that you're focused on business funding, okay, because it's something that if a business owner needs money, then their best solution, if they don't qualify for the bank or can't get money through the SBA, then their best solution is going to be DAC, because we shop all of the top lenders in the alternative revenue space. And that is if they don't have collateral and they don't meet other bigger lender qualifications. But if their only option is because of time in business or credit score, if their only option is taking what their monthly revenue is and being able to borrow money like that, then DAC is hands down the best opportunity, because we're going to put them with a lender that's going to put them in a better situation, or we're not going to make an offer to them. Or if they ever get in trouble where they need to renegotiate their terms, all they have to do is come back and say, hey, my sales are down, and every one of our lenders will work with them. There's some scary stories out there from other lenders and how they handle clients, how they treat their clients, and just go for blood and guts if a client ever misses out. And we don't deal with any of those lenders, right? So we've got the best network. Now on the healthcare, oh, wait a minute, one more thing on funding. Skeptical about chargebacks, okay? The only chargebacks you would see would be in the funding space. And that will be if, and those are rare, but if somebody got a bank breezy funding and defaulted on the loan, closed accounts or whatever, and purposely defaulted on that funding, then that could be a chargeback. We just had one within the past 30 days from someone on my team that had a sizable funding that the client kind of disappeared on, but then got the agent involved in it, and the agent was able to contact the client and get some conversation going there. Now that client is making good on what they borrowed. So want to make sure there's good communication there. If someone gets a giggle funding, as long as they've paid their first payment, which sometimes it may take 2 weeks for them to actually make that first payment, but as long as they've made their first payment, there is no chargeback on funding through giggle. Okay, so that's the chargeback scenario that you mentioned. But healthcare, don't believe in the product. I'm at a loss unless you explain more. You're welcome to come on and tell me what your concerns are about that product, but I have vetted it. I'm using the product myself. And if you've not heard me talk about that, I've done a whole range of different doctor visits since I signed up, because it was just time for me to do my annual visits anyway, because they always fall at the end of the year. So I got started on our healthcare plan in August. I've been to an eye specialist appointment, an ophthalmologist, which was a specialist visit. I paid $50 copay. I have been to 2 well woman visits that were both covered under the preventative care, and I've got a colonoscopy scheduled this week, and it's covered 100%. I'm really excited about that one. Yeah, it's that time, and I'm at that age that you know, as part of the preventative care is covered at 100%. And I've done labs, and paid a $10 copay on labs. I've done an outside visit that was $20. And guys, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I take one medication for thyroid, and I've had that since I was 20 something years old, but I'm a healthy individual. I'm just doing all of my routine stuff and doing the extra blood work so that they write that prescription every 6 months, right? But it works exactly like insurance, although it's not insurance. But I said this on a call the other day with a group that I was in on the call, and I listened to the Clearwater team do the presentation, and the business owner had a couple of questions there. And before we wrapped up the call, I said, hey, can I give a testimonial real quick? And they're like, sure. So I gave the testimonial similar to what I just shared with you about me using the plan, giving them my card. And then when you give the card at the doctor's office, doctor takes that, they verify the coverage that you covered, right? That you're an active member, and you pay whatever copay, if there's a copay, and then they're going to bill our Clearwater benefits team. And then whatever Clearwater doesn't pay, if there's anything left in that, then you get an explanation of benefits in the mail, just like traditional insurance was. But I told them, I said, look, it works exactly like insurance. I know Jake and the Clearwater team have to give you the disclaimer that it's not insurance, because it's not regulated on a state-by-state basis with every state's insurance commission. Guys, that's a really good thing, okay? Because if it's not regulated by state insurance commissions, that's what makes our program work nationwide. There are a lot of plans here in Georgia where I live that if someone has certain insurance plans here in Georgia, they may not be covered in another state. But the Clearwater plan covers you in all states. It covers you even if you're traveling outside the United States. So I can go head to head with anybody on why our program is a great program. Is it a fit for everybody? No. If somebody's got major pre-existing conditions, then they're not going to put them on the health share plan. They're going to say, hey, you're more qualified for the major medical plan. Or if they've got income qualifications where they might be better suited for healthcare.gov and the tax benefits that go with that, or tax credits that go with that, then they'll point them in that direction. But you're going to put somebody in a better situation by exposing them to health share through our Clearwater DAC Clearwater plan. I assure you of that. I would not be promoting and behind this program if I didn't believe in it 1,000%, because I'm promoting it to people that I love and care about and have relationships with, business relationships, and I wouldn't want to put anybody in a jeopardized situation. So on the health share, another couple of things that make this unique. Most health share plans have a cap or a limit, right? And we all hear that the money comes from the pool of everybody paying into it on the shareable part that gets paid whether it's out of network. If you've got the advanced plan, you're covered out of network or in network. It comes from that shared pool where they're collecting the membership fees every month, or the cost of the plan every month. But there's also two backup reinsurance or stop loss insurance companies. There's two different companies that they have one insurance plan and then another insurance plan at a higher level if there was not enough money there to cover what's in the pool for the claims that are there. So they've got all of the stop loss stuff in place, and that's where I'm at with it, because I looked into that. That was one of my concerns. I'm like, okay, well, what if they don't have enough money in the plan to pay this? So I asked those questions, and I got it directly from the source as to where and what they've got in the background as a backup plan for us. So hopefully that helps some of you that are concerned about us having a health share there. All right, any other questions or comments? Any other numbers come in there, Harlequin, or notes to you?
Yeah, well, one other comment, when they were talking about the chargebacks with the healthcare, there are no chargebacks because the client pays and then DAC gets paid and then we get paid. So there's not going to be any chargebacks, because I know I had a conversation this morning with a health insurance agent, and they get paid a percentage of the annual commissions up front. So if somebody doesn't make the payments, they get chargebacks. We don't have that situation because we get paid as the client pays.
Yeah,
Or
thank you.
after the client pays. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And I did get another one. Carlene has spoken to 4 people.
Hey, Carlene. And I know she's sending out a lot of messages on funding. So good, do that blanket approach, because whatever it is that you're marketing, it's all good. Okay. I really don't care what you decide to market, because you gotta market what you feel good about and what resonates with you. But I'm passionate about the healthcare program because I know the cost of it. My friend that I just referenced that we just went active, where I saved him $700 a month. He was on a $1,300 a month plan with healthcare.gov. He's self-employed, and based on his income projection, he was getting a $900 a month tax credit, right? So he was only really having to pay $400 a month out of pocket. But if his income projections were off and he made more money than he projected that he would, then he's susceptible to $900 a month times 12 months that he might have to pay back. So he really put himself in a position by having that healthcare.gov plan to where he could potentially be penalized $10,800 at the end of the year if his income was more than expected. And trust me, he's on pins and needles about how that number is going to report, because he had a really good year with his business. Now we've put him in a plan that's a little bit more than he was paying out of pocket, because he got all the bells and whistles with it. But now he never has to worry about having to pay back any penalty because he took too much credit based on what he projected his income to be. And every bit of that, because he's self-employed, every bit of that is still tax deductible. So it's a win-win for him. He doesn't have the limitations. He's a limousine operator, so he's outside the state of Georgia quite often. And his plan would not cover him if he were traveling outside of the network that he's in. So he could have really been incurring some major medical costs if something really bad and ugly happened to him outside of his home state. So again, there's another perk to having our health share program because of the versatility on where the coverage is. All right, I've got Norma Susanna with a hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Hey there, how are you tonight?
Hi, good evening, Ellen and everybody. I hope everybody's doing great.
Awesome.
I have a question about sharing this with a person who is licensed. And so my question is, and I know that we might have covered this previously, how does that work when somebody is licensed, and does it matter the state that they're licensed in?
Okay, so are you asking for them to be marketing it if they come on as an agent and they're sharing, or
Yes.
you want them to, is that the question?
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no, if they're licensed, it doesn't matter where they're licensed, because this is a non-licensed program, right? You're passing people through your website and the experts are taking over. My example of me being on the Zooms, these are some small businesses that, one, I'm in on the Zoom so that I know what's going on with my client, and I'm also getting that hands-on feel so that I can come back to you guys and testify, because I'm working on getting a lot of clients. And the deeper I dive into this, the more experience I have, and the more experiences I have to share with you guys about how awesome the program is, right? But it doesn't matter. They don't have to be licensed. And if they're licensed in California and want to refer people over to our health share program, they certainly can. That also gives them the ability to market a healthcare program nationwide, even in states that they're not currently licensed in.
Okay.
I do have a couple of agents that they're marketing Medicare, and that's all they focus on. And anytime they get a health insurance, somebody that's under the age of 65 that doesn't qualify for Medicare, they've been passing off those to referral partner. And now they've got the ability to get paid on all of these potential healthcare clients that they've been turning away from that income. So depends on their situation. You know, I've had a couple of agents that are marketing something else. And the hard reality is, I have found from having conversations with multiple people that are licensed that unfortunately, a lot of insurance agents that I have talked to that are licensed in healthcare, they're marketing the plan to the client that pays them the most commission. Because I've had that conversation back and forth with a couple of my current DAC agents, and they're going, well, why would I want to market health share when I make more money marketing what I'm marketing, right? But our health share program protects the client better and puts the client in a better situation, but they're more concerned about how much commission they're going to make off of it. So to me, that's sad. That's the story that David always talks about. Think about the mission and not the commission, because in the long haul, if you put somebody in a better situation by marketing something that maybe you make a little bit less on, but down the road, they and their family are going to be in a better situation, which one was a bigger win-win? And a lot of times, those, as Harlequin mentioned, on chargebacks, and there not being any, a lot of times with health insurance programs, there's that one-time big upfront commission the first year, but then the second and third year and so on, those commissions just dwindle away to nearly nothing. So ours is steady every single month for the life of that client, where you can earn up to $20 a month off of every member that signs up. So basically $240 a year is what the value of one client is. Now you've got to get 50 clients to get to the $20 per member level. But if you're shooting for that 7-level bump up anyway, then you're naturally going to get there over time. So
perfect. Great information. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for the question.
Ellen,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to add a couple of things to that. One thing, when you're talking to a licensed health insurance agent, find out if they are what is known as captive to the insurance company that they work for. Sometimes they're not allowed to market to any other health insurance products. They can only market for their company. So that's a question to start off with. The other thing, I literally had this conversation this morning with a health insurance agent that I've known for several years now, and he's looking at potentially offering our health share plan to his clients. And the thing with the chargebacks, he said he was really proud because he was with a captive company and has started his own brokerage company. But whenever he left his captive company, just to give you guys a feel for it, he had an 80% retention rate, which means that about 20%, well, and in his case, it wasn't just the retention, but it was 80% of the people kept the plan for the entire year. So 20% of it, he was getting some type of a chargeback on. So keep that in mind when they're talking about, oh yeah, I make all this money. And it's like, well, if 20% is the amount that is a good percentage of keeping the client, do they have that, even that much? But, a couple of things that he was looking at is he's got a lot of clients who, they're part-time employees, or, the company has some part-time employees or 1099 employees, and this is a way to offer something to them. So definitely talk to insurance agents.
Good stuff,
That's
Harlequin.
great. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Let's go, and I'm going to come back to, I've got some questions in the chat, but I'm going to come to you, Reverend Jean-Claude. Let me lower Norma Susan's hand, Susanna, and ask you to unmute. Reverend, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent. My question is, sometime in the system, we can have some script. If someone would like to do a massive action, to take a massive action, are there some scripts where I can like go in my system to get some script I can send to do the marketing?
Yeah, so we have quite a few scripts in the Agent Resource Center. So log into your agent back office and then click on the Agent Resource Center link to the left. Then go to whatever it is that you're wanting to market. There are scripts for each service in the back office, or there are flyers. There's some great healthcare flyers. There's funding scripts and social media posts and flyers and stuff that you can print on your own. As far as the marketing strategy goes, there are several bits and pieces of marketing there where you're saying, sending out. I was kind of thinking thinking on the terms of emailing. Is that what you're thinking of doing?
Social media, I would like to send some on Instagram, Facebook, and in different groups in Facebook. I can be looking for example, of a group of the people who are doing healthcare insurance. I can go deep and start asking some of them questions, particularly others in the group, and some of those kind of actions.
Yeah, sure. And for healthcare specific, the training that we're starting tomorrow on Tuesday and Thursday this week, that's really the direction that the healthcare team is going as far as what to say to people. So make sure you're planning on being there. If you can't be, watch the replays, because those are the things. I mean, we've got the basics of how the program works in our basic training when they launched it, but now we're talking about how to have conversations and how to move people through, asking them the questions and moving them on through to get them connected. So that'll be a great question for you to ask tomorrow to the healthcare team as well. But yeah, check out the Agent Resource Center. If there's something particular that you're looking for and can't find it, then I may know where it is if you email me. The other thing on that with specifics, I mentioned emailing, and of course our training teaches if you want to send out emails, you want to make sure that they're personalized individuals and not just sending 500 emails to 500 participants or recipients at once, because those are most likely going to end up in a spam folder. And if you get marked as a spammer, then none of your emails are going to get delivered, right? So you want to be cautious with that. But it sounds like you're going a different direction. And I'll also say this too. I know Annie, she's a DAC 4 on our team. She's had great success marketing in some Facebook groups because she's gone into niche markets where she can relate to people, right? Whether it's a particular language that you're fluent in, or I see you're a reverend, maybe you're talking to ministry groups, and having that connection there where you can relate on their level because of your experience. So that might be something that you want to consider as well. All right. Any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. All right. A question in the comments, and I want to address this on passionate about business funding, but clients keep getting declined. So here's the thing. For clients that meet our minimum requirements, meaning they're doing at least $3,000 a month. If you're marketing to retail businesses, most of those should be doing $15,000 a month, right? If they're in a retail location where they're paying rent in a brick and mortar location, they should meet that $15,000 minimum requirement. We've got two different funding platforms. They all go through the same funnel, but when somebody starts answering questions, if they're doing less than $15,000, they're automatically going to Giggle. If they are operating through a personal checking account, not a business account, they're automatically going to Giggle. Okay, with the exception of if they're in New York or California, they're not going to go to Giggle because we can't do funding there. They'll go over to Bank Breezy as long as they have a business checking account. Even though the revenue is below 15, they can still go to Bank Breezy because of the state that they're located in. But if you're marketing to businesses that have 15,000 in revenue and up, and they meet the minimum requirements, meaning the credit score is at least it's got to be at least 500, preferably 550 or better. Okay. They don't, let me go through the basics. They got a business checking account, credit score. They're making at least 4 deposits a month. If it's a retail business, they're probably making daily deposits, which is good. And that looks good to our lenders. But they're also going to take into consideration, do they owe money to somebody else? Has the owner filed bankruptcy? Has the owner ever defaulted on a funding in the alternative capital space? Do they have criminal charges on a background report? So you want to go through and dive into Wade's trainings, that whole series that he does every Wednesday. Most of them, the first couple of trainings that he did were longer because we did a lot of Q&A at the end, but now most of his trainings are less than 30 minutes every week. And he's got different categories in there telling you 10 reasons why your client's going to get a lower offer than anticipated, 10 reasons why they're going to get a higher offer, and 10 reasons why they're going to get declined where you may not realize it. So I'd encourage you to go in and really dive into that part of the training and have a better understanding of the reasons that someone is accepted or declined, and go, okay. And that'll also help you hone in on the questions that you're asking a client so that you've narrowed it down before they even go through the funding process. You're eliminating that they don't owe money to somebody else, that they're making at least 4 deposits a month. Other things are if they have too many NSFs, or if they have a negative balance in their checking account the day that they're trying to get funded, they're not going to get money from us. So understand those. The other piece of this is, who is it that you're marketing to, right? You specifically, Nicole, are marketing to retail businesses, again, or lenders like that, because there's usually steady cash flow coming in. But if a business is bringing in $20,000 a month, and at the end of the month, they've got $100 left as their average daily balance, they're probably not going to get qualified, because they've got every dollar that's coming in is going right back out, and their expenses are right there at their income level. So that would put them at a very high risk. But those things are covered in Wade's training. I know I mentioned in an email response that we need to take a look at who it is that you're marketing to. Maybe target businesses that are doing 50,000 or more. I know Wade mentioned that recently. If you'll target those businesses that are on the higher revenue level of income, then their likelihood of getting at least some kind of offer is greater. Because when you're looking at somebody, if they're only doing 15,000 a month, they're on that level of getting an offer for, 75% of what they're doing, because they're on the lower end of the revenue. So they might get an offer for 10,000 or 6 or 7 or 8, because they're on the lower threshold of the revenue. But if you've got a business that's doing 50,000 a month, there's a lot more room there for the lenders to make an offer, and at least be able to offer them something based on the revenue that they're seeing. Again, if they don't owe money to somebody else, if they don't have defaults and those things, that are automatically going to put them into decline scenario. So I hope that's help think through that process on why some of those clients might be getting declined and who it is that's happening with. Okay, Norma, Susanna, you got your hand up again. I'll ask you to unmute.
Hi, thank you.
Sure.
And I apologize if this has been answered already, but I do have 2 questions. And I think it's great that we have these trainings with Wade. I have not yet attended, but I do plan to attend this week. And then the other, that was just a comment, but the question that I have is, what do you recommend for prospecting large organizations? For example, I have my former employer, which I know they have at least 500 employees. And I'd like to speak with them about healthcare.
Okay, that's great. You want to get to someone that is a decision maker in the company. Sometimes it may be your HR department, but most likely it's somebody that's more in tune to their financial piece of it, kind of like our Relevate. If you're talking to a company that size, Norma, Susanna, do you know
Yeah.
about both names? Norma, Susanna?
Yeah, either one. You could just call me Norma. That's fine. It's easier.
Okay, awesome. So if you're talking to a larger company like that, Relevate always tells us to go with the C-level executives because they're the ones that are watching the bottom line. And Relevate can be offered as a benefit, which I'd like to think of our healthcare and Relevate combined, that we have a benefits offering to businesses and not just healthcare or Relevate. I think it falls under a benefits umbrella, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they'll tell you to go to the C-level execs because they're looking at the bottom line, and the Relevate is part of that benefits offering that a business owner can offer to employees that help them in retention and in recruiting efforts. And so does our healthcare product, because we can offer that to full-time employees. If it's a larger group, 500, the majority of those people may end up on the major medical plan because of the ACA requirements and depending on what state they're in. Although our healthcare share program is ACA compliant, specifically in those states that require the ACA compliant plans. Otherwise, the business gets penalized. But when they've got more than 50 employees, they're most likely going to have to be on the major medical. But here's the piece of that where somebody goes, well, we don't get paid on that. Yeah, you don't get paid on it if it's an insurance product and you're not licensed. However, you can get paid on all of the part-time people in there that may or may not be currently receiving health care. So it may take that business to only offering to their full-time employees now, and we may present enough of a cost savings where they can say, oh, well, I want to offer it now as a voluntary benefit to my part-time people, or we're even going to offer it and give them $100 a month towards their plan because we've saved so much money over here. So there's a lot of different ways that you could look at offering our plan to someone. Another thing I always like to say on that insurance agent saying I won't get paid, DAC is working on it so that if we have a licensed agent, they will be able to get paid. It's not complete yet, and we don't know what those numbers look like, but it's coming together with Clearwater. But I always say, look, something to something is always better than nothing to nothing. And if you don't at least present it, you're missing the opportunity altogether to potentially bring that client on board. And again, it goes back to me believing in the program that we have, that is so desperately needed in the marketplace. If you just look at that one flyer that shows the statistics, where we save $8,000 per individual plan, about $4,000 a year on someone that's already on a group discount plan, that's how much our savings can be. But the fact that 65% of bankruptcies in the US are medical bill related, yet 90% of those people had health insurance. Those are scary numbers. And that means that 70% of Americans are on the wrong insurance plan or on the wrong healthcare plan. So we have a solution to help put people in the right plan for their needs to protect them long-term financially.
That's great information. And I'd love, actually, will we have access to a replay of this, because the statistics are very important?
Yeah, they're actually there on that flyer in the agent center, the one that has little circles at the bottom. Those statistics are all highlighted on that one flyer.
Very good. And would leadership consider working with the agent to approach an organization with that many employees?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
You know, I've been working directly with Jake, who I believe Jake is the one that's going to be heading up everything that DAC does. He's the lead guy over at Clearwater, and I've been working directly with him. They've been going above and beyond with me, just, you know, whether it's a 16-person group or a 2 or a 4-person group, they're going above and beyond. Because think of this, they've been doing a lot of their sales one-on-one, because they've been primarily marketing this program through being the insurance carrier or the benefits offering for eXp Realty, right? So they had a lot of one-on-ones where the new agent would sign up and say, hey, I want to look at the healthcare. They'd go in and look around on the site, get a quote, and then do a one-on-one consultation. So for them to be able to do the group benefits with us with ClearShare is kind of an interesting position for them to be in. Not that they haven't done that, because I did. If you heard the initial rollout, before we even went live with this, I brought in a prospective client that has hundreds of thousands of employees, Norma. Okay,
Wow.
hundreds of thousands.
Amazing.
They're major corporation in the United States. And I had a lead in with a friend who works inside of that organization, and they happened to be searching for healthcare at the time that we were launching our new program. And one conversation led to another. We got on a couple of Zooms. We had the CEO of Clearwater on a Zoom with us, talking to their healthcare team, and then they're self-insured. So then Clearwater brought in another company that's what they specialize in, is being self-insured. So we're dealing with a broker behind the Clearwater product that can put together whatever it is that we need for any size company. And I wouldn't be afraid to take it to any size company, because I've already been right in the middle of it, hands-on, had that experience with how everything flowed. There was never a time that I'm going, uh-oh, this isn't going well. I was just blown away by the way they were handling the whole process. So
that's fantastic. Thank you for answering those questions. So I'll reach out to you in an email, just because, I was curious to know what that would look like, right? How do we approach them? And then, what are the steps that happen next? Would somebody fly out and see them in person? But you said everything was done via Zoom. And I guess if the occasion called for it, right, for there to be somebody from leadership that would fly out and consult with the members individually, then, they would decide the best course of action for that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, got it. And the CEO of Clearwater offered to fly in the next day to go meet with leadership of that company. So,
amazing.
Yeah, they'll do whatever is necessary. I think the main thing is that if you're looking at a bigger organization, having a relationship with someone inside that organization that can be a door opener for you is really kind of a key there, so that you're not just another salesperson that's trying to get through the door. Although you may have those skills, but I think having that warm connection, like I just gave the example, my friend works inside of that company, and I happened to call him up talking about our healthcare program, and he's going, "Oh, well, we're actually looking at that right now. Can you send me some information?" And that whole conversation got started that way. So
that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you for the questions. All right, anybody else before we wrap up? Great questions tonight, guys. I really appreciate your participation. And for those of you that put numbers in the chat, I appreciate your vulnerability on that, and your willingness to share what you are or are not doing. I appreciate that. And we got to be honest with ourselves. If we're going to take the next steps with our business, we got to be honest with ourselves. Are we really, each of us individually, doing what we need to do or what we're capable of doing? I've said it, I said it earlier, that I'm not reaching out to as many people as I would like to. I got a lot on my plate, and I'm constantly juggling every day, trying to manage my limousine business. I have a big property to manage here. I have some rental property, and I have a sister that's not in good health. I've just got a lot, as you guys do too, right? So I try to juggle all these things, but I make sure that I'm doing something, moving my DAC business forward every single day, because I make it a priority. It's not on the back burner of if I have time or when I have time. It's a front burner every single day that I'm doing something to move my DAC business, whether it may be an inch today or whether it's a big leap. I'm doing something every single day to move it forward. And I hope that you are too. And again, I appreciate your sharing tonight. Harlequin, anything that I've missed before we wrap up?
Yeah, actually, somebody had a really nice comment about you, and they wanted to say that they were very grateful for the replays that you send out, and for all the different Zooms that we have. So,
Awesome.
I echo that thought. So we're lucky we have you to do that for us. So you're
Well,
appreciated, girl.
I appreciate it very much. And, you know, one of these days we're going to be looking back and going, oh my gosh, do you remember when? That's the fun thing about growing a massive business. But guys, it's go time. This week is going to be setting us into a new fast forward phase. So come on, let's plug in and let's run hard together. I want to see you win. I want to see every one of you win. And I believe that you can. You're just probably a conversation or two away from having something really good happening in your business. So let me know how I can help. You guys have a blessed evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. at daczoom.com. Take care, everybody. Good night.